Hey, welcome to Tales from the PowerAge. How you doing,
Hi,
boys?
Cool, mate.
evening.
We thought we'd do a little bonus episode for you. It's hot on the heels of seeing Fish's last ever show at Aylesbury. We've got a few things for you to look forward to. We've got a little bit of a pop-up shop that I went to, and I actually met him. So I'll show you what he signed for me. We've got clips of the boys talking before and after the show. We've got a run through of the set list. And also we've got some of Fish's hilarious in-between song chats for you to enjoy, and they're really brilliant, and obviously some of them are specific to Aylesbury as well, which is really, really cool.
Right, nice one, Gav. Just as a reminder, though, unfortunately, Dill couldn't be with us tonight. He's very, very busy working, but we wanted to get this pod out as soon as we could because Fish is on his farewell tour. We want it out there as soon as possible. So if you could all, if you enjoy this, please like it, give it a like, please. It really helps us, and please subscribe. I know that most people watching this will already have subscribed, but if you haven't, please subscribe and hit the Hell's Bell. And check out our other pods. We're big Meridian fans, so there are already a couple of really popular pods, one of which includes Fish's Aylesbury. So yeah, thanks so much indeed. Cheers to the intro, Gav.
Cool. Without further ado, I'll put on the little clip about the pop-up shop. In case you don't know, a lot of the tour dates had pop-up shops, which were instead of having to charge extra, or an option, rather than charge extra at the venues, because some of the venues charged an additional 15, 20, 25% on the merch. So Fish thought it would be a nice thing to do to sell somewhere else during the day, and to make it even nicer, he came across after the sound check. So here's my little intro. Waterside venue for Fish tonight. And just across the road here is the Japanese restaurant where Fish has got his little pop-up shop for this afternoon. Beautiful afternoon in Aylesbury. It's always sunny in Aylesbury, you know that. And as you know from Fish's Facebook page, he's already been on a little pilgrimage with his lovely wife around all the previous haunts. Which we might show you later on as a recap from our Misplaced Childhood video. So yeah, the pop-up shop's already going and selling lots of merch inside. I have succumbed to a vinyl box set, which I will may show you later.
No shop maybe, there.
But yeah, it's the big man is going to be wandering across after sound check apparently. So we will see him hopefully for a mini chat. Hopefully catch up with some of the Tales from the PowerAge boys later on, and we'll do a little introduction and a little post-gig chat if we can actually get our act together for once. And see you later. Bye. Cool.
Can I borrow one of your shoes, man? Of course you can. Thank you. I'm going to just say, I'm really not into doing selfies, right? I'm really trying to keep it clean. I've got just two guys go down, my daughter's just going down, and I don't want to go down. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if we could just, I'm happy to say one thing for you, but like, if it's the selfies and that, let's just be safe.
There we go. The irony is I'd just been on the phone to Jam like 10 minutes before that, saying, no, I'm not going to buy anything. Can't afford it. It's too expensive.
Yeah. And you did. That was hilarious.
I bought it even before I knew Fish was coming over. He signed before you could say I'm going to sign stuff. There was a queue out the door of people with all the stuff they'd just bought. So rather than charge extra for it, which some people do, he just signed stuff. And
what a legend!
That's what he signed for me. 13th Star Deluxe box set signed to old Gav.
Nice.
And we had a nice chat as well. That image is from the ceiling of an Egyptian tomb.
Okay.
And he said he changed the artwork quite late in the day because obviously the other artwork is this amazing kind of sea and stuff. And I got chatting and said I saw those stars as well when I went to Egypt, and then he said, oh, we're going to get that in our snug, on the ceiling of our snug in our TV room when we get to the Croft. We're going to have those gold stars on the roof. So I had a chat with his wife about it, and it was really, really sweet. So,
Oh, she was there as well.
yeah, she was there. And
Well, you had a much better. My only time I met Fish was back in 1988, and he did actually touch on this when he was talking to us from the stage at the gig. He said that he'd moved on from Aylesbury. He found himself in Gerrard's Cross, so he'd always been doing well for himself if he was in Gerrard's Cross, which is also in Buckinghamshire.
what are you trying to say about Aylesbury?
Yeah, but at the time, 88, I was working in a fruit and veg shop in Gerrard's Cross, and the big man himself, literally, it was a quiet Thursday afternoon, and the big man walked in. I think he had his then wife with him at the time, and he walked in the shop, and I was like, "It's Fish." I didn't say it. I was far too professional in the fruit and veg shop. My big brother I worked with, he was like, "He doesn't know who he is." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And he comes in, and he was such a big guy. Do you know what I mean? His presence is big as well as his actual stature. Yeah. And of course, you can guess probably what he wanted to purchase. Could take the man out of Scotland. He wanted some. At the time, I thought he was saying turnips. But he was saying nips, and I've looked at it since neeps.
Nips.
It's Swede. Yeah, he wanted some Swedes. Of course he did.
Turnips.
Yeah. So he got him some Swedes. He bought Swedes off of us. I'm pretty sure he didn't mention this on stage. It's probably the best Swede he ever had.
I'm sure.
Bound to be.
Off we went into the sunset. My brother's going, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "That was Fish. How Meridian." My brother's like, "Oh, okay." It wasn't into Meridian at the time. I was like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah, but really nice guy. He's a smashing guy. But I was far too, I was working, but I was far too starstruck at the time to even.
It's a good job you sold him to him then, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's no way I could have. I didn't speak about me. I was just like, yeah, really nice guy, really great guy.
He is. He really does come across as totally genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what he was saying through all the songs and after the songs and that, I wish I'd have met him. He sounds like a great bloke to have a laugh with.
Yeah, I mean, after all these years of being in the same orbit, I don't think I've met him before. I've got his autograph loads of times.
I was surprised when you mentioned that you hadn't when you were going to the pop-up shop. I was surprised. I just thought that at some point you may have.
I've been in the same room as him and stuff like that, and obviously we had a friend of ours, Shane, said that he's been at the same urinal as him, but it's not quite the same thing. Okay, we all met up and we thought we'd do a little intro before we go in to see the big man himself. So it's a little dark, but I'm sure you'll get the picture. Okay, hi, we're here for Fish and his final Aylesbury concert, close to his final end of the farewell tour before he goes up to the Hebrides. So obviously Aylesbury is hugely important in the history of Marillion and the history of Fish. He's lived here for many years, and this is the final concert. And the Waterside Theatre behind is where we're going to be witnessing the final show. Obviously we're hoping there'll be something special, and we were previously at pop-up where he mentioned there might be some different songs being played tonight, so let's hope it's something along the lines of...
That's certainly the buzz in the pub.
There's a buzz about it. Market Square Heroes has been absent from the set for a while, and it would be very logical for it to be played tonight.
Absolutely.
So what are you looking forward to, boys?
And I'm so chuffed it's a sellout. Obviously it's a sellout. It's a big theatre. It's a decent sized theatre.
1,500 people.
They're queuing up now. I don't know if you can see from behind us, but they're queuing up now to get in, which is why we thought we'd do the intro over here. It's pretty noisy. Everyone's so looking forward to it. It's hard to tell because he's got so many strong songs. And anyone that's watching this is going to know they're going to want their own particular favourite. I love Feast of Consequences. I really hope he plays that as part of the particular set. Gaps, what are you looking for?
Credo for me. Love that song. Superb.
I think he'll play that.
But, and hopefully he's going to play Incubus.
Incubus is the big one.
It's my favourite Marillion song of all time.
Which is a random one. It's quite a deep cut.
Oh, I know, but I love it. Always have done.
It's great for Gaps.
Yeah. But for Ghazi, if he doesn't.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good stuff, and hopefully we can get some special guests.
Being at a show like this, when you're actually there's a full reason. There's the buzz. There's going to be something special, something different, other than what we're already expecting. It's quite tangible. It's really tangible over there when you're talking to people.
Oh yeah.
It's really,
You've seen
really
him plenty of times, haven't you? But I haven't seen him live now since
the crowd.
1986. So it's a long old time for me.
I mean, obviously everyone's older than they were in the heyday, but this is back in the day. Aylesbury was a real
hot spot for touring bands, and we had brilliant people here just over there at the Friars. Not so much now, but I don't think any town has managed to maintain that quite so much. But there'll still be the old folk like us that were there at the time. Maybe we were slightly too young for the heyday of Friars, but
it still carried on. There was still a scene, for want of a better phrase, like late 80s, early 90s, and Bob and Crazy part of that.
Well, that was a classic.
So
I saw Thunder at the Civic Centre. It wasn't called Friars at the time, but yeah, this is. I think the crowd are going to be really heightened tonight, and it's going to be a good night. And I think Fish knows the significance. You know, he spent yesterday here walking around and reminiscing with his wife, and you know.
That's funny because the places he mentioned were on our Fish Aylesbury,
which we might show later.
Special, which we might show later.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll try and see you after the gig if we can get everyone together. You know what it's like, but top stuff. Anything else to add, boys?
No, that's all good.
Take care, everybody.
Cheers.
See you later.
Further to he was brilliant in between songs, I thought it would be a nice idea to video a few bits for you guys to enjoy. I didn't get in the way of anyone filming this because I was up in the circle and there wasn't a guy in front of me, so I just had the camera by my chest. So hopefully, if you didn't manage to get to the gigs, I imagine his chat changes because a lot of this is about Aylesbury and various other memories. So I've got 3 clips. I'll give you the first one now, which is after someone shouted out Grendel. So
almost immediately.
Almost immediately.
I think 20 seconds into him walking on stage, apparently.
Must congratulate you. That was the fastest fucking Grendel that's ever happened in a set ever. That's a premiership record, that is. Bit late. I tell you, I'm going to show you something.
I wonder what he's doing for a minute.
Mickey, have a wee go. This is what we know as the Goblet of Shame. And it's like anybody who wants to shout out Grendel is very welcome to. As long as you partake of a little sip out of the Goblet of Shame. It was funny. It was funny being back here again. This isn't exactly Friars, is it? £10 for a glass of wine. 15% of merchandise. Welcome to the corporate world. Yeah, tell me about it. And it is Fish on Friday after all. So I'm allowed a wee rant every now and again. But it was funny. It was kind of weird in that we were staying down at the Travelodge. We found it next to Waitrose, trudging about like a bunch of reckless refugees with suitcases and shit. Where's the fucking hotel? It's behind Waitrose next to the canal. And the sunken boat. I went to bed last night with the smell of that canal in my nose. Some things don't change. But the weird thing was that Simone and I, my wife and I went up, which went up where we wanted. We actually went in search of the White Swan, right? Because that was where I was a pub that I used to frequent, and I'll tell you more about it later, but we didn't find the White Swan on the first kind of trip round the town, right? But I went up to Albert Street, right? And that's where I had my very first house in 1984, right? And it was, we went up and I saw it, and I went, I can't. Someone goes, go on, knock on the door. And I go, no, I can't. And I knocked on the door, and it opened. And you know the wee London woman that's in the Catherine Tate comedy show? I think it was her. And she went, and she said, Mark Goldland, bloody hell, what, it's him. And she was lovely. And her and her husband were absolutely wonderful. And we went in, and the place looked exactly the same. Right? The dining room, it wasn't my table, but the dining room table was in the same place. The tea was in the same place. Everything was in the same fucking place. Right? And she was, me a glass of wine. Oh, I don't know. All right, then. How much is it? She says, it's cheaper than the waterside. And we sat for about 40 minutes and we had a great wee talk. She was absolutely, we're both lovely people. And she was a fan, and I wanted her to come to the gig, but she can't, because she was, her hips had gone. And it was like, and we were sitting talking, and she said, yeah, I remember, she said, saw you at the Market Square when you did that gig. She said, you were talking about all these bottles in the wall and everything. She said, right. And she said, I wasn't very sure what you're on about. Right? She said, what were the bottles of the wall? What was in them? I said, you don't really want to fucking know. And she said, the neighbours still talk about you. She said, when you lived here, she said, we've never seen so many bottles go in and out of the house. Since it used to be, it was actually, I didn't know this, but a little bit of curve here. It belonged to a wine importer and a wine seller. Right? And then I was 18 albums, album street. And it was fine because it took me back, and then coming back round, and then coming through where the market used to be, the old car market and stuff. And then we eventually found the decrepit White Swan just across the road there. And it got me thinking, it's back to when everything was going on. And this was a song that came, and it was born in part of it was born in that house. Even though it wasn't recorded or properly written till later. This is a song called Shadow Play.
I didn't realise his talking, when I think about it now, he chatted for a long time, didn't he?
Yeah, I said that, didn't I?
Yeah. So we've got the set list for you. We can go through the set list now. So obviously he's been doing a variety of different sets in Europe, and then especially when he does 2 nights in the same venue, he'll do very different sets. So we didn't really know what we were going to get, and we did get a few surprises.
Yeah, he'd said to you at the pop-up that you needed to be that you need to run through some songs. He gave us the impression that it might be a bit different. It was, wasn't it? It was different.
Well, we didn't think we were going to get Weltschmerz, did we?
Well, up until this point, he had played throughout Europe as well. He'd either done the songs off of Feast, he'd done the High Noon songs, or he'd done Plague from Plague, the Ghosts, and neither of those are here. So
a big chunk of the set as well, if they do those, isn't it? I guess. Yeah.
Each of the UK dates, he'd done Plague, and he played. That's like 6 mini songs, it's like 20 odd minutes. So we didn't get that, that is epic. That would have been great, but that was replaced pretty much, as you said there, Gaps, by I can never say it, Weltschmerz and Just Good Friends. And of course, he needed the extra time for Market Square Heroes and for the chat, because we heard a lot from Fish, and which is fantastic. And give me that all day long. It was really amazing. But yeah, it seemed to make it a really balanced. It's almost like playing all the hits for me. Those. And also he played Goldfish and Clowns, which he hasn't been playing every night on the YouTube.
No, that was a surprise to me.
Sorry, I meant to mention that one. Yeah, Goldfish and Clowns, and I love that track, as you know. So yeah, highlights for me: Goldfish and all of it, but Goldfish and Clowns particularly, because I wasn't expecting it. Weltschmerz, which I love, and Feast, as I've mentioned before, I was really looking forward to that. Yeah,
Just Good Friends was nice as a duet.
Oh, that was brilliant, wasn't it? That was superb.
She was amazing, wasn't she? What amazing!
Yeah, really showed up. You couldn't really hear her for most of it, but that duet they did, you could really hear her voice come through there. She was amazing.
Quality singer, quality voice, beautiful tone.
Yeah, it was a really, really good addition, I think.
Yeah.
And I loved Shadow Play. Credo, there it is there. Big Wedge was brilliant with some double bass drumming at the end of it. The drummer was really cool, actually.
Yeah.
I got my Fugazi. Didn't get me Incubus, but I got my Fugazi, which was amazing. And then all 5 of the encores were just top notch. They're absolutely brilliant, all of them.
Yeah, I mean, that is a classic way to end, isn't it? If you look at that, I mean, you'd certainly pay to see that on a regular basis.
The thing was, the 5, when you're looking at that, so I'm just like the guys, those that weren't there, there'll have been a lot of you guys that are watching this have been to your own shows. Our main show, up until the first encore, the main show ended on Fugazi. So that's literally 2, 4, 6, 8, that's 11 tracks, 11 songs, interspersed with some genuinely we're getting a bit longer too. We've been to a lot of gigs. I've not known an atmosphere in between songs. I've not known one quite like that before. Don't know about you guys, but you literally could hear the proverbial pin drop. He was commanding everyone, and everyone was hanging on every single word just to hear what the big man had to say. He was so relaxed. He was really relaxed. He was really clearly happy, and had a great. I think he'd had a day off, hadn't he? He'd had a day off the day before.
Yeah, the day before, yeah.
So he was back in his old stomping ground, and he was just sharing it with us. There was no. You sure like make a whole lot more noise than the last town. None of that. Toss.
No.
Literally.
It all seemed very spontaneous, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was just like being down a pub with his mates. Wasn't it? It felt like it was amazing. It was
really respectful, and it was really lovely. It made it a really special evening. It was an evening with fish, basically, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Backed up by a superb band.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And you guys, the musicians, they were spot on. It sounded to me really great.
Yeah, definitely. We've got more chat. Are we done with the set list?
Yeah, they were I think they're the highlights. Of no surprises to anyone that just to cover. He didn't do Incubus with us, but he did Fugazi, which was a bit of a.
It was weird to me though, because people were leaving it after Fugazi, which was nuts. Yeah. And then even more people left when they finished Heart of Lothian, and then they go off again and played Market Square Heroes, and even more people left before they come back and played The Company, which was...
I guess it's trains, because a lot of people travel a long way.
There was a lot of travellers, yeah. This might be the right time just to say we've also got a couple of songs. Gav was in the circle, and he's mentioned how he managed to get the video. We were really mindful. I personally, I don't like people holding their phones up videoing all the bloody time. When I'm at a show, I don't want to have loads of screens in front of me, and nor did Fish. And that's why he announced and said, hey, can you keep your phones away wherever possible? I was actually at the back of the stalls. Gav was in the circles sat. I was at the back of the stalls. I had no one behind me. I was literally right in front of the sound desk, which was raised. So I managed to get a really good video of Market Square Heroes, which is on our live channel. You can check that out. But I still, I still only did one. I did only take one video because I didn't want to be disrespectful. But I thought, for sharing's sake, because it's something that a lot of you guys aren't going to have seen, we thought we had to weigh it up, and we thought that's the right thing. But please be aware, no people's eye lines were ruined. No sight lines were ruined by us. It's important, I think, that everyone knows.
Cool. And there's a couple of others that I've recently added as well. Fugazi and Credo. So we've got more Fish chat for you, which this time he's talking a bit even more about Aylesbury.
Mine played Friars and stuff. It was a great venue. And we were born here. It was really strange that we all arrived here. I'm still pissed off though, because there's 3 photographs of Marillion with Steve Hogarth in that corridor, and there's none of me. But we can change that. Did they just do it for wind me up? I will put up a photograph of Brian. I'll go off that bullshit. Fucking it's as I said, like, back in the days of Friars, it was posters. Oh, by the way, this minute, very, very happy birthday to you, Diz. Right? I'm not singing it for you. Your daughter did a lovely job of that. Right? But yeah, I mean, when Diz and I moved down here and stuff at Friars, it was all like, all the posters at Friars were all kind of made by small children with single colours, like crayons. Right? And it was simple. As I said, David Stops never thought about charging merchandise, charging 15% on merchandise to bands that were starting and coming into the club, right? Changed days. That was the days when, it was just vinyl and cassette, before CDs and before Spotify. If you've read the reviews, you know this guy, but I was like my bookkeeper, got in touch, and she said, there's money in your account. And she said, what is it for? I said, I've got no idea. I said, is it more than 50 quid? She goes, yeah. I said, well, it's not Spotify then. Right? And it was, and we had a wee think back and forward, right? And she says, have you done any radio? I went, no. Have you done any TV stuff? No acting, nothing. And then it went, it was my pension. And it's this is a song that's kind of about it. I kind of know it as the Book of Faces. This is inspired by a little phrase that was written by a Scottish writer called Robert Louis Stevenson. It's got a double edge in it. This is called Feast of Consequences.
There you go.
Lovely, nice one.
And our final clip, ladies and gents, is where he introduces the band.
You know that movie Reds? It's got Helen Mirren, Sly Stallone, Bruce Willis and stuff. And it was all about these old assassins getting together for like one more job. This is the musical equivalent of that film. It's true. That's got. I went. You know, it's the last one. It is the last one. This is not an Elton John Status Quo vibe, you know. And it was. And then we got together. So it was Mickey's been there. So when I left the old band in '88, Millie moved up to Scotland with me, right? And we did all the writing from Vigil and Internal. Mickey Simmons on the keyboard. Then you got Steve here, right? And Steve's been with me since Wave 13 start. 1997. How many days? You did run away and escaped until we sent the dogs at you for a while. Yeah. Gavin Griffiths on the drum kit. Man who refuses to give up his ponytail. Never. Keeps it every Tuesday. I'm going to get rid of it this time. It's not going to be. I'm going to just get my hair cut. No, you don't. Robin Bull from Wendover on guitar. A young lady who I've known for quite a while. We became great friends way back on the Rain Gods album, and who we brought into the band not only because she's a brilliant singer, because she actually brought the average age of the band down to 60. Elizabeth Troyan.
So, are we ready for the staggering out of the venue, blinking into the moonlight?
Yeah.
Play that clip. Here we go.
Wow.
Pretty damn good. That was good. The Fish could obviously tell it was an important night, and he gave it full beans.
Yeah.
Everything. It was fantastic.
Exactly. There's too much for us to dissect now, so we are going to.
We're going to do a little digest after this, but because we're a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. The crowd absolutely loved it, and they couldn't tell him enough how much we loved him. You know.
And I think the thing that said it for me was the silence between songs.
Yeah.
You don't get
Respect.
that. It was so silent. There wasn't. You couldn't hear a pin drop. There was no noise. Everyone was
Told
waiting.
a few stories and they went on for a long time, and they were brilliant. So funny.
Yeah.
Such a-
Oh, we should have been here.
Yeah.
It was
Last
great.
chance.
Yeah, it's cool. Cheers, Fish.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'm glad I went. So glad I went.
Me too.
But we witnessed a show. I'd probably say by one of the world's great songwriters, and we've been able to enjoy it. Sometimes we talk. Our esteemed friend Dill, who's not with us today, he often talks about how lucky we are to have been around. We could have been around at any time over the last thousands of years, and we're lucky enough to have been around with certain characters and certain musicians and certain songwriters and artists, or everyone. And Fish is one of them, in my opinion. And he said himself tonight, he said that he was a writer who could sing, not a singer that could write.
That's a brilliant analogy. That's super.
Yeah, and I think everyone stood there just obviously hanging on every word. But yeah, I thought it was a really great farewell, the way that he did it. And I know we do realize how lucky we are, and that we are local to Aylesbury as well. And you can see that you'll see it. You probably, most people watching this have seen our other podcasts we've done. We hold Marillion in high esteem, Fish Time Marillion on our other pods. So yeah, it was a great night for me.
And there is a tour of Aylesbury on the Marillion Misplaced Childhood video. So
Yeah,
I'll link to that at the end. This has gone a bit longer than we thought, so check that out. I do a little walk around Aylesbury, which is probably exactly what he did with Simona the day before this gig. And his old haunts and some of the stuff that inspired the lyrics. And I think that's the thing that sets Fish apart from anyone else, really. His lyrics have just been so consistently clever, inspiring, and you could read them like poetry,
Without a doubt. Taught me a few words I never knew.
Yeah. So that was a cool thing he said at the end there, and I think he does still intend to write as well as manage his croft up in the Hebrides. So I guess we should end with thanking you, Fish.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for the lyrics. Thanks for Marillion. Thanks for the solo career. Thanks for Fish on Friday, because I certainly tuned in and still do when he does the occasional one now, and I'm not sure if he's going to carry that on to any extent, but we're really grateful. We really hope you enjoy your retirement. It's well deserved. And all the best on that one.
Thank you very much. Basically,
we'll leave with the usual. Check out our live channel. There are quite a few Fish songs uploaded recently on the channel, plus a load of other good stuff. So check that out. Completely different channel. It's not this one, so you could subscribe to that and this, and we'd be very grateful. Thank you very much. And then if you want to make it easy on yourself to get in touch with our socials and our merch, then scan that barcode, scan that QR code rather, and there's a link to everything you might need if you want to interact with us. So that's our show. I hope you found some of it interesting, all of it interesting. We had a great time. We thought we'd get it to you as quickly as possible, and we'll see you again next time.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys. Well done.
What a show. So glad I went.
That was brilliant. But overall, think of the legacy that the guys left. When you think of the legacy.